Our You Decide coverage continues ahead of South Carolina's June 11th primary, and right now our focus is on the race for Spartanburg County Sheriff. In the Republican primary, Chuck Wright is running for re-election, and his challenger is Nick Duncan. And the candidate running for Spartanburg County Sheriff is Nick Duncan. And so, Mr. Duncan, thank you so much for taking some time with us to go and jump right into it. Your website clearly states, big bold letters, time for change.
That's right.
Why?
There is a lot of stuff that we need to be doing. I feel that the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office can be doing for the communities. We've kind of gotten complacent with our community involvement, and I believe that community involvement is a big part of Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, and I think that we should be able to make that a bigger part. Okay,
you say community involvement. What does that look like for you as sheriff then?
A community involvement, I would like to establish a community advisory board. That way the community can come together either at the sheriff's office or somewhere else, maybe once a month, once a quarter, and establish what's going on in their counties or communities, and figure out, what's going on in the communities when the sheriff's office is not there.
Okay. Something else, too, interesting about your run, you had actually quit from the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office in order to run.
That's correct.
So how did that come about? And in one of those situations where you don't often hear about somebody quitting at the department to go ahead and run against their former boss.
Right. So my wife and I have been talking about it for quite some time. In November of 23, we had decided that, November 22, we decided that we were going to make a run for the sheriff's race. And so we thought about it, prayed about it. We announced to our family in November at Thanksgiving of 22 and decided that we were going to anticipate running for sheriff. Around February, we made the final decision, go ahead and get this going. So our initial time frame was to be out by November of 23. And once that got started, it came out a little early. And so I had put in a 3-week notice to leave the 1st of November. And it came out a little bit early. I had a discussion with Sheriff Wright, and we decided to end that 3-week notice a little bit early from there.
What was the mechanism for you inside the sheriff's office there that finally was the final pin where you saying, you know what, I need to do this, I need to run? What was that aspect?
It was the community involvement.
Okay.
I started paying attention to what was going on within the communities, what Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office was doing for the communities. I also started paying attention to what the Sheriff's Office was doing for the deputies. And I decided that there were a lot of things that could be done more for the Sheriff's Office, for the deputies, and for the communities. And again, after talking to my wife, we decided that this was something that we could make an impact on. Whether we ran and won or whether we ran and lost, I felt like we could still make an impact on the involvement between Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office and the Sheriff's Office, Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office and the communities.
Okay. Something that really stands out about the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, there was a time where there were 7 inmate deaths in 8 months. So that was a concerning number. A lot of people in the community were reaching out to us, asking us to look into it. We sat down with the sheriff, and he said so often you just get people inside of those jails who they're dealing with so much.
That's right.
And they're not able to really get a handle on all of it, and it's just a very unfortunate situation. What can you do as sheriff to make sure that that doesn't happen again, where you had 7 deaths in 8 months?
I want to make sure that we have the appropriate medical care there at the jail. Whether this is making sure that the people that work for Spartanburg County are vetted enough to make the medical decisions, make sure that they're giving the medications in a timely manner. I would prefer that Spartanburg County not be responsible for the medical care of the inmates. I would like to establish I would like to, I would like to contract out that for, maybe Spartanburg Regional Hospital to have somebody else come in and take over that responsibility. Somebody that does medicine all the time. They can rotate out the nurses however they see fit, and then make sure that they are taking care of the inmates appropriately.
Something else too, looking at the SLED numbers, back in 2022, the murder rate in Spartanburg County had a clearance rate of 22%. That's compared to 96% in Greenville County, 80% in Horry County. 22% clearance rate, essentially what that means is that clearance rate for people at home, it's where there's been a suspect identified, an arrest or conviction.
That's right.
But it's 22% in Spartanburg County. As sheriff, how can you increase that number to make sure that the right people are getting behind bars and being held accountable for their actions?
Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office has already increased the size of the violent crimes unit. That is currently being worked on. I think that we can either bring some more people into the violent crime unit, or make sure that everyone has the availability for training at the Sheriff's Office to increase this crime rate, increase the statistics on the solve rate. If we need to increase the size of the violent crime unit, if we need to split the violent crime unit, that would be something that we would have to look at once we're in office.
Okay, and real briefly here, day one in office, what does that look like for Sheriff Nick Duncan?
First thing we need to do is an audit, make sure that all the monies are appropriately placed to ensure that the deputies are getting adequate training, and figure out if we have anything that is using a lot of extra money that could be going towards the deputies or towards the community involvement.
Okay. Candidate for Spartanburg County Sheriff Nick Duncan, thank you so much.
Thank you.